Teaching everything from wilderness survival to Indigenous food systems and lifeways, Caleb Musgrave takes us foraging.
Hi, I'm Caleb Musgrave from Canadian Bushcraft. Join me today as I go foraging. So connecting with our traditional diet helps connect us with our traditional ways. As Anishinaabe people, our food is a huge part of our culture, our history, our ways of life, and our worldview. That is why my company, Canadian Bushcraft, focuses a lot on teaching all Canadians traditional ways of life of the Anishinaabe people. So we're here in Hiawatha First Nation, which is my Anishinaabe community. We are Mississauga Anishinaabe people, and this is based on Rice Lake, Ontario. This is a traditional space of my people that we've been coming to since before there were stories. Now, the foods that we traditionally harvest in this area are wild rice, better known as manoman, acorn, sometimes known as matigaman, and quite a bit of vegetables and wild plants. But today, I'm looking for these right here. These are both a wild and domesticated plant. This is one of the most important plants prior to corn, when the Anishinaabe people, Haudenosaunee people, and Lenape nations all were growing foods. This was one of the first plants that we domesticated. This is sometimes referred to as Jerusalem artichoke, sometimes known as sunchoke. It's got quite a few different names, and it's a member of the sunflower family. And you can actually tell because it has a very sunflower-like blossom. It's got very hairy stems. It's got very fuzzy, almost rasp-like leaves, very much like a sunflower. But unlike the domesticated sunflower, it's not the seeds we're after, but its roots, called tubers. Those are the key here. The trouble is, I gotta work for them. They're down in the ground. So I gotta get myself a digging stick. And luckily, I already have one here. Here, we've been dealing with a drought for the last 3 months. These tubers should be about the size of my fist by now. And you can see how tiny they are right now. Due to that, we're going to have to go look for some other foods to help fill up the larder for this harvest. All right, here we go. We got a few plants I've been looking for here. We got a wild carrot, Docus carota. This is the ancestor of the modern day domestic carrot right here. We have goldenrod. These ones are just going past prime, but we can still make a nice tea with them, or we can add them to a honey to make a really nice medicinal, but also really tasty syrup that helps you deal with allergies from the ragweed and whatever else is growing out here, but also just tastes really, really good. And then just here and here are these massive dead stalks of feral parsnip. Heave up, and there's my parsnip. So these are all great wild foods, but this is not enough to make a meal. So let's go see what else we can find. We've got plenty of good foods, but every good meal needs some rice in it. And here in this wetland, we have a ton of what we call in our language manoman, also known as wild rice. It's not the same as your Uncle Ben's. It's not the same as basmati or jasmine rice. This is a relative, but not closely related. If I reach my hand over here, this is the stalk of it, and right here are the seeds. You can see the little husks, the green and brown husks, and inside are these little tiny kernels that when left to season and cure in the sun for a few days to a week, and you dance on that and that breaks and threshes the husk, and then we winnow to release the husk, and we leave these beautiful germs, these seeds to cook. And we can cook them in a whole lot of different ways. You can roast them and grind them. My grandmother used to make an amazing wild rice pudding. It's one of the main staples of Anishinaabe diet. And right here we have acres of it. This is one of the few spots left in my area that has not been impacted by colonization in regards to the wild rice population. The lake that we're on here, Rice Lake, used to provide 10,000 bushels annually, which averages up to about 620,000 pounds, over 500,000 pounds of this plant and its seed a year. And that's stopped for the last century because of how we flooded the lakes and affected our ecology. So these little wetlands here, we protect them at all costs so that we can still get access to our traditional food. I want to say a big miigwech. Thank you for joining me on this landscape today. And in our way of saying goodbye, we don't really say goodbye, we say I'll see you, which could be translated as Giwab Min. So Giwab Min, hope to see you again.
Thank you so much, Caleb, and hope to see you again too. Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.